You know, when a company releases its earnings, there's always the polished, prepared presentation. But the real strategy, the stuff that gets stress tested, that comes out in the Q&A. And today, we're digging into the latest from Dutch Bros, decoding exactly what they revealed when Wall Street's top analysts started asking the tough questions. So, what really happens when a brand that's famous for its super friendly Dutch vibe has to defend its entire game plan with cold, hard numbers? We're about to find out if their ambitious plans for taking over the coffee world can actually hold up under that kind of pressure. And by digging into that back and forth between the CEO and the analysts, we've basically pieced together their real blueprint for the future. So let's break down what these candid, unscripted moments tell us about where Dutch Bros is headed next. We're going to walk through the 5 big themes that kept coming up. First, what the analysts were asking about the future. Then, we'll get into their 4-part recipe for growth, their huge bet on food, the plan for building a coffee empire, and maybe the most important part, how they plan on scaling their secret sauce, that one-of-a-kind Dutch Bros culture. All right, so the very first thing analysts wanted to know was pretty straightforward. Okay, you're doing a lot of things, but which one has the most juice? And the CEO's answer laid out this really clear 4-part recipe they're using to get more and more people coming through their drive-thrus. First, just look at this number. It's wild. 72% of all their transactions are now tied to their Dutch rewards program. Now, that's not just a cool stat, it's a massive strategic advantage. It gives them a direct line to their most loyal customers, which lets them get smarter and more targeted with their offers. And here's the kicker. Even with that huge 72% number, the CEO, Christine Barone, comes out and says this. She thinks they're just in the early innings. That quote right there tells you everything you need to know about their confidence. They believe this growth engine has a long way to go. So here's how all 4 pieces of the engine work together. It kicks off with product innovation, like a new drink, to create buzz. Then they use paid ads to pull people into that powerful rewards program. From there, the program itself gets smarter with personalized deals. And the whole thing gets easier with their order ahead feature, which is already at a 13% mix. And in new markets, it's nearly double that. It's a well-oiled machine. Okay, let's pivot to the next thing the analysts were really focused on. Food. And this isn't just about selling a few pastries here and there. No, this is a major strategic move to become a true one-stop shop in the morning, basically to own your breakfast routine. And the early results they talked about on the call? They're really, really good. Shops that have rolled out the new hot food program are seeing about a 4% lift in comparable sales. In a business of this scale, a 4% bump is a huge, immediate win. But here's where it gets interesting. How do you get that 4%? Well, about 3/4 of it is from people just adding food to their usual drink order. Makes sense. But, and this is the really exciting part for them, a full quarter of that lift comes from brand new transactions. That means the food is actually bringing new people in the door, not just making existing customers spend more. And they're being smart about it. This isn't some chaotic rush. It's a very deliberate, planned rollout that's going to take until the end of 2026. Now, a few of the oldest stores can't be updated, but every single new shop they build is designed to be food ready from day one. They're basically future-proofing the entire company. Okay, so the engine inside the stores is firing on all cylinders. The next natural question from Wall Street was, great, now what about the buildings themselves? How fast can you actually build this empire? Just look at this timeline for a second. It shows you the incredible speed they're moving at. They hit 500 shops just a few years ago. This year, they blew past 1,000. And the goal is to double that again by 2029. The pace of that acceleration is just, wow. So how do you possibly fuel that kind of insane growth? Well, they gave us the answer in the Q&A. For the last 6 months, they've been adding over 30 potential new locations to their pipeline every single month. That's the secret. They're building this deep, deep bench of future stores to make sure they can hit those huge targets. So all of this brings us to the final, and you could argue, the most critical question the analysts had. It's less about the numbers and more about something you can't really put on a spreadsheet. Can their secret sauce, that unique, energetic, person-to-person culture, actually survive this kind of explosive growth? I mean, this is the real tightrope they have to walk, right? The very thing that made them so special is also the absolute hardest thing to scale. How do you copy and paste a feeling, an interaction, a vibe across thousands of stores and tens of thousands of new employees?
Their answer starts with this one really powerful number. The average operator who goes to open a shop in a brand new city has been with the company for 7.5 years. Think about that. They aren't sending rookies. They're sending their most seasoned veterans who live and breathe the Dutch Bros way.
And the CEO actually gave them a name. She calls them culture carriers. Their job isn't just to run a store. It's to literally transplant the DNA of the brand into new ground, making sure that special vibe doesn't get watered down as they expand across the country. So it's like a three-part defense system for their culture. It all starts with that internal pipeline of culture carriers. That's backed up by systems to actually listen to feedback from their teams. And it's all held together by making sure their baristas feel valued with good benefits as the company gets bigger and bigger. So when you piece all these answers together from that one Q&A session, a really clear picture emerges. This is the blueprint. It's the strategy that was tested, questioned, and ultimately defended under the bright lights of Wall Street. So let's just recap the big takeaways. First, they've got this powerful, multi-layered growth engine that they think is just getting warmed up. Second, their move into food is careful, it's strategic, and it's already working. Third, their physical expansion plan is aggressive, but it's backed by a ton of data. And finally, they have a very intentional plan to scale their unique culture right along with everything else. So they've laid out the map, the money's there, the customer demand is definitely there, and the strategy is crystal clear. The only question left is the one you can't answer with a spreadsheet. As they build this coast-to-coast coffee empire, can they do it without losing the very soul that got them here in the first place? That is the real story we're all going to be watching.